The following story is based on true events. However, the images you are about to see do not represent the real people involved, except the ones at the end. On January 23, 1959, 10 skilled hikers, mostly students and recent graduates from a polytechnic institute, set out on an ambitious trek through the Ural Mountains. Their goal was to reach Ural Mountain, a remote and challenging peak. Among them was their experienced leader, Dyatlov, a 23-year-old engineering student known for his meticulous planning. The group included 8 men and 2 women. One member, Yuri Yudin, had to leave the expedition early due to illness. It was a twist of fate that saved his life. The remaining 9 members carried on, documenting their journey through diaries and photographs. The trek began normally, with laughter, camaraderie, and careful preparation, despite the harsh winter conditions. On February 1, the hikers reached the eastern slope of Kalatsiakal, which translates to Dead Mountain in the local Mansi language. They decided to set up camp on an exposed area rather than descending to a forested valley below. This decision has puzzled experts ever since, as the valley offered better protection from the fierce winds and freezing cold. That night was their last. Something so catastrophic happened that the hikers tore out of their tent and fled into the brutal wilderness, leaving all their supplies behind. They were never seen alive again. Weeks later, when the group failed to return, search teams were sent to find them. On February 26, the hikers' abandoned tent was discovered. It was partially buried in snow, with the fabric slashed open from the inside. Their belongings, including warm clothing, boots, and food, were still inside, untouched. It was clear they had fled in a panic. The rescuers followed footprints leading into the nearby woods, where the first 2 bodies were found under a cedar tree, shoeless and dressed only in undergarments. A makeshift fire had been attempted there, with branches broken from the tree, as though the 2 victims had tried to climb it in desperation. As more bodies were found over the weeks that followed, the true horror emerged. The victims were scattered across the slope, some buried under deep snow. 3 hikers were found between the tent and the cedar tree, as if they had tried to return to the camp. They had died of hypothermia, but their frozen position zone curled up, one face down, hinted at intense fear or agony. 4 more bodies were discovered months later, buried in a ravine under 4 meters of snow. These victims showed gruesome injuries, including Lyudmila Dubinina, missing her tongue, eyes, and part of her lips. Her body also showed signs of immense internal damage. Nikolai Thibault Brignoles, a fractured skull. Zinaida Kolmogorova and Rustam Slobodin, severe chest fractures that experts compared to being struck by a car. Despite the horrifying trauma, there were no external wounds consistent with a typical attack or fall. The baffling details didn't stop there. Radioactive clothing. Tests on some of the hikers' clothing revealed elevated levels of radiation. The source of the radiation remains unexplained. Orange skin and gray hair. Some rescuers reported that the victim's skin appeared unnaturally orange or tan, and their hair seemed to have turned gray prematurely. Strange lights in the sky. Witnesses in nearby areas claimed to have seen bright, glowing orbs in the sky during the same night as the incident. This has fueled theories of UFO activity or military involvement. Numerous theories have been proposed to explain what happened. Some believe an avalanche forced the hikers to flee their tent in panic, but skeptics point out that the area showed no signs of typical avalanche activity. Others speculate that the group stumbled upon secret military experiments, possibly involving weapons or radiation. The glowing orbs and lack of natural explanations have led to suggestions of extraterrestrial involvement or supernatural forces. Some theories propose that they were attacked by wild animals, but this explanation does not fully explain the severe injuries or the absence of external claw marks. Katabatic winds, a natural but rare weather phenomenon where sudden, violent gusts of wind could have disoriented and panicked the group. No single theory fully explains the combination of factors: their panicked flight, their varied causes of death, and the eerie clues found at the site. The Dyatlov Pass incident remains unsolved, haunting investigators, researchers, and storytellers alike. The official investigation concluded that the hikers succumbed to a compelling natural force, leaving much to interpretation. In recent years, the government revisited the case, citing an avalanche as the likely cause. However, many experts and enthusiasts dispute this explanation, believing that whatever occurred on that deadly night was far more sinister and extraordinary. The 9 lives lost on Dead Mountain are now enshrined in history as one of the most chilling unsolved mysteries of all time.